what's on your mind.
Well, how productive would you say the opening week was getting ready for this Kentucky game?
I think it was very productive. Obviously, get some guys back healthy, get some guys some rest that have been some high mileage guys. Getting them off their feet a little bit and, giving them, a little bit of reps, but also make sure we're taking care of them. A guy like Mike Woods, I think he played 71 snaps at receiver in the A&M game. That's a lot. And so being able to give him a little bit of a break and still get some other guys some work was good. Really took a step back and worked a lot of fundamentals, tried to get better at some technique stuff. Had a little bit more indie time in practice, and as well as, balancing out and start working on Kentucky. So it was a good week, but excited to get back into game week this week.
I guess to get all your starters back, I guess with your 3 wide receivers and your tight end, I think you've only had 2 games where they've all been out there at the same time.
Yeah, it feels good. It's always good to be healthy coming off of a bye, getting some guys back healthy. So we're looking forward to having everybody pretty much at full strength and see what we can go do.
Tyson Marshall is a guy that's gotten extra reps with the injuries you've had. Now that you're getting healthier, what role do you see him playing? Just what have you thought about his play up to this point? What's he doing to put up some pretty good numbers?
Yeah, first of all, we were holding out hope that Trey would play in the A&M game and couldn't go. So, first of all, Tyson, I can't say enough good things about what he did and was able to play a position that really he hasn't practiced a whole lot. It just shows you that he is preparing himself, that he's working extremely hard at preparing mentally at every position. And I think that, when you're a guy like Tyson, a guy that's very versatile and can play multiple positions, you got to be able to know what you're doing to get in the game. And if somebody does go down, you can fill in that spot. So I think, Tyson, we're going to, again, we had guys play 71 plays at receiver. That's way too many. And so, I think more than anything, just getting guys a break and being able to use a guy like Tyson and other guys that we're trying to get back healthy, that'll help our guys be a little bit more fresh in the fourth quarter, so they're not playing the whole game out there. That's really tough to do. So I expect, him to continue to get a lot of snaps and help us, and as much as he's been helping us, the first couple weeks. He is, not really a surprise this year, more last year, in our year one. But, he made some plays last year. He caught a couple touchdowns, I believe. I remember him making a heck of a catch on our sideline last year. I want to say it was against Alabama. So, he's shown to be a guy that we can count on in year one. I think more of a surprise last year than this year.
How much can you count on Ty Clary and Colton Jackson this week? And also just what kind of progress did you feel the off week did as far as getting some depth in the offensive line?
Yeah, it was huge, just like it was at all positions, to get guys reps that hasn't got a whole lot of reps. But I fully expect Ty and Colton to be back and be ready to go. I would be shocked if they didn't play. So excited to get those guys back out. We'll know more later in the week and tomorrow, especially when we're practicing. But I think those guys will be fine this week.
Hey, Joe, what's your take on what Kentucky's doing on defense and the opportunity with a week off to, put some new looks out there? What do you expect from those guys? Yeah,
they're obviously Coach Stoops has been there a while and really implemented his scheme, and you can tell they fly to the ball, they run around, they're huge up front. Both nose tackles are 360 plus, 361 and 371 is what they're listed at, I believe. And so they're thick inside, hard to move. They do a really good job of bull rush. They do a really good job of pushing the line back in the run game. So I'm sure they'll have a couple of different things that they've worked on in the bye week, and again, we'll have to make those adjustments in the game.
What will it be like having Jordan Jones back this week, and what can he give you?
Yeah, I'm hoping to have Jordan. I know the other day coming out of practice he was a little sore. But, anytime you can get a wide out back, again, you take reps off other guys and keep them fresh in the fourth quarter, like I was saying. But Jordan obviously on film from last year, especially on film, he's shown to really, be able to stretch the field vertically and run by people. So hopefully he's healthy, and hopefully we'll be able to use him down the field some.
How do you feel like Nick's doing coming off, the injury he had against A&M, and he's got 7 picks. What do you have to do to cut down on the interceptions? Because it seems like he makes some real good plays, but obviously the turnovers, are an issue.
Yeah, I guess I got to coach better. Make sure he doesn't throw those interceptions, and do a little bit better job there of teaching him what we want on certain plays and taking that off of him. And eliminating those turnovers, maybe through play calls or whatnot. But I think he's feeling a lot better. I think his elbow's feeling much better. We wore compression sleeve last week, so I fully expect him to be full speed coming up this week. But Nick's he's started certain, I don't know how many games now for us, but he's still developing. He's still developing our offense. He's still learning. And that's things we can do to help him and take some things off of him and make it a little bit easier.
Joe, were there freshmen on your scout team that haven't played yet who you've been impressed with and think might work their way into game action?
We're thinking, a guy like Amante Spivey, is close to getting some game action. We're trying to, bring on Bo Limmer, trying to continue to bring him on. Brady Latham has done a really good job. Hudson Henry is getting closer. A guy like TQ Jackson, I know he's played in 3 games, but he's getting closer to being able to take some more snaps. So there's a lot of exciting young guys. Again, they're just freshmen in the SEC, and it's tough. It's tough to do what Traylon and Trey are doing, and even Ricky. So. Those guys are going to be good players. They just got to continue to develop.
Henry's getting closer. What is it in particular that he's getting closer to, and what do you need to see more of him?
Just being more confident, understanding that he deserves to be here. He's a good player. He's just, again, he's young, and just understanding that, hey, you can do this. You can block those guys. You can run routes and win versus man coverage, or win on a linebacker or whatever. He's really getting better and starting to understand and get a little bit more confident in himself when it comes to those things.
Okay, I want to ask you about 2 guys. One, C.J. O'Grady, just the game he had, how it rates in terms of what you've seen from him. And then what did it mean to you that Ben Hicks came in and executed your game plan as well as he did?
Well, C.J., is doing some really good things for us. Obviously, he's being able to make some plays, and even yards after catch has been pretty good. Wish we could have got him the last ball there in the very end. I think we win if we can get the ball off on the last play. And when you're in that situation, you're always thinking players, not plays, and trying to get the ball to one of your best players when the game's on the line. And couldn't get it done, but was trying to get him that ball there in the back pylon. And on Ben, I mean, it just shows you how tough that kid is. I've been telling y'all how tough he is to lose his starting job and to come in those circumstances. And I think you saw how comfortable he was running the offense. I think you saw how competitive he was when he pulled it down on 3rd and 17 and ran for 14, 15 yards, however long it was, 13 yards. To put us in a position to try to win the game at the end, but breaking tackles. I think it just speaks to the kind of kid he is, kind of player he is, kind of character he has. And again, I can't say enough about him and all that he's done to this point.
How was KJ coming along, and how did he look last week in those extended periods?
Yeah, KJ, I mean, he got a lot of good reps. I was really excited about getting to work with him a little bit more. Obviously, not trying to get ready for a game. You can spend a little bit more time with him, and even last night we were spending some time. So I thought he did take a big step last week. Honestly, getting some reps in scale, getting some reps in team. He did some really good things with his legs, as well as sitting in the pocket and throwing the ball. So he's just got to continue to learn mentally. He's a very sharp, smart kid. It's just about doing it and repping it. And, he's got to know it in the meeting room. So what we've shared with him, you got to know it in the meeting room and take it out on the practice field. and go do it and go execute it. So he's getting closer with that, but I thought last week was a big step up for him, and he had a really good week.
Learning the offense, what are some other things that KJ has to work on, or that you guys have worked with him, like mechanically or footwork, any of that stuff?
Well, I mean, not getting into too much detail, but there's just certain things where, I think he becomes a little inaccurate. He kind of bends at the waist a little bit instead of at his knees. I'm trying to really work on his posture in the pocket, getting the ball out a little quicker. Sometimes he doesn't point the ball back and really get the whipping action of the ball. The ball kind of just stays there and it kind of pushes it. So there's certain things within his motion that needs to be cleaned up, not really fixed, but cleaned up a little bit, that I think will make him a little bit more accurate of a passer. And a lot of playing quarterback is with your feet. A lot of people, that's a big misunderstanding, that people think that it's all about your upper body, but it's really about getting your feet in a position that where if your feet are in the right place, your hips are open and you're able to throw the ball, especially throwing the ball to your left. And that's one thing he's really worked on, and we've worked on with him. So that's the kind of things we're kind of harping on him every day and really slowing it down in the meeting room and pausing it and slow-mowing it and really showing him. But again, he's very smart. He's very cognizant when we're doing drill work, bag drill work, any kind of footwork drill that we're doing. He already knows what I'm going to say before I say it. So that tells me he's on the right track and he's really learning. It's just about, again, getting those repetitions and getting better at it.
With the red zone struggles, what have you guys kind of looked at with that and trying to improve the scoring in the red zone?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at it, I think the biggest thing is just got to quit turning it over. I mean, that's the main thing is, just doing what we do. Again, everything kind of condenses the closer you get in the goal line, obviously. And so, we've got to be able to make plays on the perimeter, get the ball outside a little bit more. But the main thing is just taking care of the ball and understanding that, hey, every drive ends with a kick. That's our mentality. It's okay to punt at times. But down in the red zone, it's okay to take a field goal as well, take those points. And I think if we did that last week, I think we have an opportunity to win the game.
As far as Kentucky's defense, just what do you see out of it? And since they've had an open week, do you look for them to do anything different, perhaps?
Yeah. Anytime you have an open week, I mean, we're going to do things differently. They're going to probably do things differently. I think anytime you get a little extra time and you get a bunch of coaches in a room with a little spare time, I think you're always going to draw something up that you feel like is going to be pretty good. So I'm sure they'll have something. Again, very impressed with their front, their line. They're thick guys. They're hard to move. My favorite player over there is number 56. I think he just plays hard. He's a senior. He plays extremely hard. He plays around the ball. You can tell he loves football. He loves the game. They do a really good job with him running around. I like number 4 as well. I think he's a good young player for them. Does some really good things. But I think when you look at them, I think the strength of their defense is up front. I mean, they got 2 seniors and a junior up there. So, that's the challenge, is just being able to, corral those guys, get them moving early in the game and seeing what we can do to have some success early. Thanks, guys.